Nice trackball mode. Oh, feels good. Never thought I'd be able to do that outside of Steam Input. Alright, I'm back in reWASD with the good old Steam controller because we have a new update that finally... Oh, trackball mode. Trackball mode. Oh, thank you. That was sorely missing. So, before I go into any of this, the update, just in case you're totally unfamiliar, what is reWASD? reWASD, well, it's right here. It's powerful gamepad mapper. Remap controller to keyboard and mouse. You can also remap mouse and keyboard, which kind of opens up possibilities that other remappers, like, you still can't do that in Steam Input. Yeah, but it is a paid program, which I'm used to. I used Xpatter before I used Steam Input, and Xpatter was a paid program. Regardless of what most people thought, that poor program got pirated to hell. But yeah, Xpatter was a paid program. Now you can download this, give it a trial, buy it if you want, wait for a sale. They also sell it in like this piecemeal way if you want just like certain little features. But I think it was like a Black Friday or a holiday sale. You know, I got the whole thing on a discount. So that's what reWASD is. What does this, like, why would you need it if you're using Steam Input? Well, this could work for games where you're having trouble with the overlay. That is a notorious and frustrating problem with Steam Input, is you're tied to Steam Overlay. Like, holy crap, the hoops I had to jump through with Star Citizen. That's crazy. So you could use it for things like that. I remember, like, this was when they first had support for the Steam controller. I was excited just that I could play this little RC game with the Steam controller, because no other method that I'm aware of still, it doesn't work except reWASD, because reWASD is turning the Steam controller into an emulated 360 or an emulated Xbox One or an emulated DS4, and it let this game pick it up. Look at that, wee-oo! I was driving all around and I was so excited. It feels so weird. Yeah, no, because there's no, I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna narrate with myself. But that, like, for that one I was pretty excited. I guess, just aside from Steam controller, one thing to mention is, like, the reason I use reWASD is because I recently got this little honkin' guy. Oh, bad production quality. Can't get the lighting. So I got this little FlyDigi Apex 2, which has just buttons out the wazoo. And reWASD lets me remap everything. Like even this little action wheel. You know, it exposes everything to be remapped, which is nice. I also recently got DualSense, which it exposed the adaptive trigger settings. I'm not really sure if Steam Input does that. Honestly, unless I'm using Steam Controller, I kind of want to use reWASD, so I'm not the best source to compare other controllers to Steam Input, but I can definitely compare Steam Controller to reWASD and Steam Input. I think that's my wheelhouse. But anyways, back to what I was talking about with Steam Controller. I know one thing I was struggling with in that previous video was gyro. I like touch activation. I couldn't figure out how to do that. I had to have it always on, which is, I mean, I'm struggling with that with other controllers too, like having them always on. But anyways, So what I ended up figuring out as I'm diving into this a little bit more, so we have the tap. On the tap, I just give it a start press, turn gyro on, release press, turn gyro off. That's it. Simple. Actually, let's try something. Okay, double tap will be 1. So let's see what happens here. Apply. So I got double tap, 1, touch, deliberate, tap, 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 trackball. Oh, there was one false fire. False fire! Double tap, double tap. But no, I mean, I'm not having misfires. One big limitation is we don't have touch haptics. That might be a deal breaker for some folks, I don't know. I mean, it will definitely limit me for using this a lot. I will probably just use other controllers if I'm using reWASD. But it is really cool that we have Trackball Mode. So what else? Don't have touch haptics. I don't believe there's any way to set a hipfire mode. So that kind of limits your dual stage triggers too. You can have them, you can put something in there and bind it, but yeah, without being able to interrupt and get past that soft pull threshold, that's going to limit what you can do with it. So that's a limitation. None of the activators can really be set to be interruptible or non-interruptible. They just seem like they're all interruptible. One thing I've been struggling with is I haven't been able to find like an empty binding. There doesn't seem to be an empty binding. So there are some limitations. It's not perfect. It's definitely the best alternative to Steam Input. Let's hop into a game and just see what we can do, because there's also, well, before I even do that, no. Mode shift clicks. reWASD does not have mode shift clicks. You can do it, but it's different. It would be the equivalent of an action layer, except they're more reliable. They don't have the issues that Steam Input has, where action layers kind of get wonky. But yeah, you would need to use an action layer. So for instance, I have click. Goes to shift mode 1. That's up here. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is also... I'm not used to that. So I'm limited to only having the equivalent of base layer and 4 action layers. That could be difficult for some of the, like, Arma 3 or Star Citizen. I got pretty crazy with Steam Input on those. So that's one thing that I'm still learning. Like, I don't know if I can jump to these other slots and then double up, but I just have to keep using it more and learn it. This is the equivalent of me talking about Steam Input like month and a half after I got Steam Controller. I'm still learning all this. I'm only very recently diving into reWASD. So anyways, that to me coming from Steam Input seems like a limitation that I can't do as much. But for the mode shift click, I have click, go to shift 1. On shift 1, I have, up, basically a D-pad. And then in this, I can pretty easily do, the basic single press. We have a single press is 1, long press was B, I was just testing stuff out. Double and triple, I'm gonna guess probably wouldn't work, because this click is the release to go back, you're gonna start getting into those same issues we have with the mode shift clicks, where you can't do all that stuff because of the way it's like hot swapping into that change. And one other limitation that I've run into is that I can't seem to have the middle click. Yeah, because there's not a way for me to define this as like, hey, I only want you to do... Whoops. I was squeezing the trigger. Because there's not a way for me to define a dead zone. Like, hey, I want this middle click. I have these edge clicks, and then I want something in the middle. It just... I'm going to assume because... You know, this is really the only controller that they would be creating solutions for that would even have a need for click zones. Like, with a stick, you don't really need that as much. But yeah, that seems to be a limitation right now, because you can't do a middle click. If there's some reWASD master that knows that trick, you know, chime in the comments, let us know. Because, like I said, I'm still learning all this too. But yeah, let's just hop into a game and see how it's feeling. Okay, so we got nice trackball mode. Oh, feels good. Never thought I'd be able to do that outside of Steam input. I've got joystick move on left pad. It works, but no haptics. It feels kind of empty. That would be something I'd have to get used to. Okay, I've got 4. One nice thing is I can just hit my keyboard 4, 5. It's kind of like a listen. One frustration that I have though is that it doesn't do that for listening to gamepad commands. What do I want? 6. Oh, and gyro flicks I freaking love in reWASD. It's different than Steam input. It's based on how they're calculating gyro information. They're going by speed instead of angle, which is creating a frustration with lean bindings for me, but that's a story for another day. So for here, I'm in the gyro, I'm in gyroscopic high zone. Wait, let's go back. I don't want to be in that. I'm in the Modeshift. I am in shift 1. I need to reprogram my brain. Back to shift 1. I want to try the gyro flick to reload. So I go to advanced and my gyro mouse. And then I have all these zones. What was that? I had something in there. Okay, I don't want that there. I'm going to take this high zone down. So you can see, like, low would be my dead zone. I'm keeping it pretty low. And I want this high one to be kind of low too. So this will just be when I jerk the controller, it gets beyond this threshold. I don't need any sort of mode shift, nothing. It's just detecting the speed of when I move the gyro. So gyroscopic high, and then in this cone shape, look at this, all the directions. So let's go up, gyroscopic high, reload, and give it a rumble. Both sides. Let's go down to 30. All right, so let's see if that works. All right, so I have switch to grenade, switch to my flashlight, free look, switch back to gun. Yep, that's working perfectly. Okay. I mean, there's a threshold, like, I mean, I'd have to fiddle with where that threshold is, so let's take it down even more. The rumble just, doesn't. The Steam, that's Steam controller limitation. It just doesn't feel right. Shouldn't be that harsh. It's Steam controller is clearly made for Steam input, and Steam input has the touch haptics. And yeah, the rumble stuff just doesn't feel right in reWASD. So I need to go back to this shift, down click, single press. I want to be enter. Long press. I want to be left alt. Oh, did I do wrong enter? Numpad enter. Alright. So that is an option in reWASD. A little behind the scenes while I'm fiddling with that. Alright. Click change perspective. Hold. Yeah, that's I was able to disable the light. If you were noticing, wow, it's changing as I hold into this. I would probably not have it do that, but just so you can see the functionality. Click the grenade. Change perspective. Blow it up! Back to my gun. Relook. So yeah, but the dual stage trigger, like I was mentioning, so I do have a full pull, which works for this. Like, okay, yeah, you're zoomed in, but I don't think there's a way to make it. Like, I can't get past that soft threshold before I get into the full pull. But what else? I mean, what else do we need to cover here? The trackball mode, 100% makes it feel a hell of a lot nicer. You know, I figured out how to do touch release for the gyro. We got Modeshift clicks, the equivalent of. Maybe, just for the hell of it, let's try right stick. Trackball friction. So this should be like mouse joystick. I'm testing stuff. So that is like joystick move, but also combines. Huh. That's kind of interesting. I mean, it's a little hard to get it, so I guess I more have to like flick from the center. But then you have like joystick move, sort of. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. It's almost like a hybrid of mouse joystick, joystick camera, joystick move. What do we got? What can we change? Friction. Let's just see what that feels like before I get too crazy. Like Wheel of Fortune. Spin the wheel! Meow. Alright, I mean that I would never have it that low. Let's take that maybe to there. Spring mode. Trackpad works like joystick move. The stick is... Hey, I didn't get to read that. The stick is deflected while the finger is on a trackpad outside the dead zone. Let's try, let's just see what happens. Let's up that. Yeah. Okay, so now it's not having the joystick move. Yeah, now we're getting mouse joystick. It feels pretty good. And I'm noticing a problem. With that. So this is on. And it comes off. Why? What's happening? Something's happening. So I mean that was pretty cool with the mouse joystick. So let's go back to mouse. Left trigger is just left trigger. Oh, yeah, see? I was actually going to mention that the same way I was able to do like the gyro flick, you can do that to the triggers. You have trigger zones, which I guess would be the equivalent of like the soft press in Steam. So I had LT high, left trigger high zone, turning gyro off. That I must have just been testing things. I like how every time I pick it up, every time I pick it up, it reloads. I have gyro initial state on in my preferences. So it's like when I go out, yeah, like when I tab out in here, apply it. Yeah, gyro's on. So that's what that is. Because I'm keeping it on for like other controllers. And then I pick it up. Reload. Okay, yeah, that's better. So we're not turning the trigger off when we full squeeze, or when we soft press squeeze the trigger. Full pull could reload, or jerk it up to reload. Yeah, I mean that. I don't think I really have anything else to ramble on about. I feel like I really got a little carried away and distracted just messing with stuff. I will just say I'm digging reWASD. It's definitely something that I like messing around with. One final thing. Like, okay, so I have, this is left stick, go to advanced. Because this is cool. I was digging this. Or wait, oh no, can I not do it on the, when it's the trackpad as a stick? I can do it on the stick. Okay, well that's another limitation. Yeah, I don't think I can do it. That's just friction. Yeah, I can't give it zones. Well, that would be something that I'm sure they could fix and add in. So in the meantime, we'll just do it on the stick, because it's a nice additional setting. So I go into the stick. I go advanced. Left stick high on this high zone. Like, let's crank that up. So left stick high up is shift. So that's the equivalent of outer edge binding, which is why it's like, ugh, we need that on the trackpad. So, okay. Definitely need to be able to do that on the trackpad if you're going to use left pad for movement, which a lot of us Steam controller folks do. So okay, I go forward all the way. That's sprint. Now, why is that? Why am I excited about that? Because it's sprint only in forward all the way forward, not outer edge. It's not gonna kick it in these other directions, which has been a specific problem that I've had in, I think it might have been Battlefield games or something, where it's like, I want to have sprint on that outer edge in Steam input, but shift is also honk the horn or something in a vehicle. So turning left and right, you'd be like, honk, 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 and it was driving me crazy. Well, that doesn't actually, let's keep this, we'll never stop. We'll keep recording. Horn, left stick click, or middle mouse button. Oh, it's because it was shift. Dummy. It's alright, we make it. Left stick click. Let's go just gamepad stuff. Okay. Apply. And actually for this, just so I can drive, let's make this right trigger. I can turn left and right. Going forward, forward, forward. All the way is the horn. Right there, it disables it. Enables it. That, ugh. I have been wanting Steam Input to do that for years. That would be something I'd have to do. Ooh, that's where we could use a corded press. Yeah, I need to be able to interrupt that, which I would have to do with a shift, which is their layer. I would just have to have holding left trigger. Does not have that forward all the way for sprint, which is where I get into, like, when I'm talking about like Star Citizen, where I'm gonna run out of those shifts real honkin' fast. But still, I mean, regardless, we did some cool things. So I think that I should probably end it there, because this got way beyond what I meant to just be like a quick little dive into some stuff. But it's exciting to have a new program to work around, fiddle around with. Plus, it's kind of the thing. I have to do that in Arma. Arma's like the perfect platform to just goof around, play with controls. But yeah, that's all I got. I gotta get the hell out of here. Holy balls. I mean, I'm gonna edit this down, but we're at 55 minutes. That is a lot of rambling. Wow.